So this was a bit of a surprise. I'm in between, well, I'm doing the Sky O'Malley series and I'm doing the Victoria Thompson series. And we're just about finished with the Patterson Women's Murder Club. And I've been looking for a new series to delve into. And I spotted this, so I picked it up and I thought I would give it a try. And to my surprise, this is the third book in the series, and I had to go back and rewatch my own video. Oh, and welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina, and it's nice to meet you. I hope you're having a good day. Hope all is sunny out there. I hope you're all feeling fine. I'm trying to learn some sign language for teaching, so we'll see how that goes. But anyways, to my surprise, I did the second book. It's a 3-book series so far. This is the third book, and I did the second book last year. So a trace of poison. And so you will have to go check out that video, middle of June of last year, about the 16th or so. Taste of poison. And so I had a few issues. I enjoyed the book, but it was a little on the slow moving for me. And let me get to it. Murder by Invitation Only. A really good, really interesting premise. But there were 30 characters to pay attention to. And usually, like with my Eve Dallas series, I know everybody now. We're 60 books in. I can handle the large cast. I know who everybody is. It's like a large group of friends. But when a series is new like this, I'd prefer to start out small and then add each book. So I didn't know who to pay attention to, who was going to be important, who wasn't going to be important. So I was going after everybody. So I've got my list here because I was confused at some things. Because Phyllida is the housekeeper for Agatha Christie and her husband Max. And my other big pet peeve, besides the fact that it was character heavy, was that I don't know what time frame it is. And unfortunately, I was wrong because I was assuming pre-1800. But then, of course, I was wrong by about a good 20. No, I was off by about 30 years. So the couple of things. They have automobiles. They have telephones. And the vacuum has just been invented. And the third kicker, which makes me believe that it's way, way later than I thought it was because they talk about the women's suffrage and the woman's right to vote in 1928. So obviously this is way after that. So it's a little pet peeve of my own. It's just me. So don't let that get to you. And then also, of course, the characters. And we have 2 sets of households and 2 sets of characters to go with each house. The housekeeper, well, Philadelphia is the housekeeper in Beecham, and no, she's the housekeeper at Agatha's house, and then Trickle is the housekeeper at Beecham's house, and then we have your maids at Agatha's house, and then we have your maids at the Beecham house. And then we have the butler at each house. And then we have the driver who takes her around. We have all these neighbors. And it was just like, I was just trying to keep track of everybody. And it was getting hard. So let's get back to the core issue here. All right. So murder at invitation only. So this new people come to town. and they want to hold a party, like a housewarming. I want to introduce myself to the neighborhood, and I know Agatha Christie lives down the block, and I really want her to come. So to entice her and the rest of the crew to come, I'm gonna have a murder party. And nowadays, they're a little more common. You go to the restaurants, and they have these murder things, and you have to figure out who did what in the audience participation type thing. So she gets this envelope in the mail, or actually hand delivered. You know how bad the post office is today. But anyway, it says an announcement: a murder will occur tonight at Beecham House, 7 p.m. precisely. Regrets only. So she decides to go. She calls the neighbors first to make sure they all got invitations, because she didn't want to go without them going. And and also because Agatha's out of town and she can't go. So that's the first big disappointment of the house, is that Agatha's not there to solve the mystery and put them all on stage for all their acting skills, or write a book about it or anything like that. So she goes over to the Beecham house, and let me see if I got this page right. He announces that Mr. Wokesley comes and announces that someone will die. They missed something here first, but let me just get this. They waited for the clock to strike 7, murmuring niceties and commenting on the crowd, the choice of cocktails, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly, a scream filled the air. The woman next to Philadelphia jolted and clapped a startled hand to her chest, sloshing her martini. Everyone fell into an expectant silence, punctuated by someone's low murmur. The group turned as one when a large set of double doors opened just as the clock struck 7. The room was revealed by opening doors was dark. Then suddenly the lights came on like a stage, revealing a well-appointed drawing room with 5 people arranged in sort of a frozen tableau. A ripple of muted laughter and comments running through the group when they saw the sick person lying down, face down on the floor in the middle of the room, and there was a blade protruding from his back. So then the announcer comes in and says, "Indeed," came a disembodied voice that Philadelphia identified as Mr. Trifle. Everyone turned to see the butler standing on a small riser in the foyer. Mr. Welding Bowington was indeed dead, having been stabbed in his parlor, but who could have done the deed? Was it his own brother, Dermot Bowington, jealous of his wealth and standing? The guests turned their attention to the back parlor, where one of the 5 people in the tableau unfroze and postured about with a walking stick and a dark-colored drink. Apparently he was meant to represent Dermot Bowington. Or could it have been Mr. Bowington's young and beautiful wife, Katrina? And they introduce her. And then he says, or Mr. Bowington's former business partner, Oscar Charles, was also present and could have done the deed. And then everyone knew that Hilary Charles was not particularly fond of her husband's oldest friend. And finally, Lionel McGivity, Mrs. Bowington's long-lost brother, who arrived at Bowington Manor on this day. Could this be a coincidence? And they go through the guests, and I had to make my list here. So we have the people at Beecham House, and we have the visitors. So George Brixton plays the part of Oscar Charles, and Charity Forte is the sister-in-law to Beatrice Wokesley. She's the sister-in-law. She was the husband. She had married Mrs. Wokesley's brother, and they got divorced. So that's another thing that led me to believe it was more modern than I thought. And then Hubert Dudley Gore is the headmaster at Finchley Schools. And then Sir Keller Yardley is a friend of Wokesley. And then we have Constable Greensticks, who's in the thing. and we wait the whole time for the other inspector to show up, and he doesn't. And then we have your maids and other inhabitants of the house. And it's one of those really slow walks where we got to go through and introduce everybody and have short conversations with everybody. And then, Phyllida's got to examine the murder scene, and she's got to talk to all the individuals. So we do the rounds there. And she then inspects all the bedrooms to see what was what. One of the rooms, she finds a note in a pocket, but she leaves it. She finds a gun in one of the rooms, but it's not necessary right now. And when we do around this, it turns out that the guy with the knife in his back was really a guy with a knife in his back. I'm sorry I didn't mention that previously, but it was supposed to be a prop knife, and somebody who either switched the prop knife for the real knife, and when the scene was presented, the guy was really dead, and that takes them a couple of chapters to realize the guy was really dead. So it's a little on the slow. I mean, it's good, it's intriguing, there's lots of details to pay attention to. It's very, layered, but the whodunit comes out of left field, huge left field. Because, you're paying attention to who everybody is. I'm trying to write notes. Mrs. Celia Packhurst is from the general store, and John Brandt is her friend doctor, and trying to get to know the sister-in-law, and trying to recognize the murder weapon, and then someone tries to kill the housekeeper, and someone puts a rattler in the pantry closet, and then she's trying to investigate all the visitors, who the 5 people that played in the murder scene. The George Brixton that played Oscar Charles, and Charity that played the sister-in-law, and Sir Kelly Yardley. And she's trying to figure all these people out. So she has Agatha do some work. Agatha makes a brief appearance a few times in the book with phone calls. And they try to investigate the backgrounds of all these people and trying to figure out who they really are. And then it comes out that about a year ago, there was this really bad car accident, and this woman was hit. It was a hit and run, and she died at the scene. And apparently it was Mr. Clifton's car, and this other person, Eustace, was driving. It isn't until you start to put the pieces together that it's revealed that one of the guests at the party, the woman that was killed, was Rose, and it was his wife. So that's something there. Then it's discovered that Clifton never let anybody ever drive his car. So why was Eustace behind the wheel? And why didn't Eustace remember that he wasn't behind the wheel? But that's where he woke up, because Clifton was awake and Clifton switched sides with him. So there's a lot of twisty layers to this, very multi-layered, and you're trying to spend the whole book going, all right, which one of the guests did it? Because it had to be one of the guests, because they're the new people here and they're the ones with the motive. And she's going through all of this layers and investigation, and it's interesting. She has to investigate all the guests and their backgrounds and their motives, and there's a really bad storm. A couple of the maids are breaking things. The staff is leaving. It takes a while for all the details to come out. And even when they all come out, you don't see it coming. You're waiting for one of the guests, and I guess that's kind of a spoiler here, to be the whodunit. Excuse me. I guess I better end this. So you're waiting for one of the guests to be done it, and you won't see it coming and we end up with about 4 murders by the end of the book. It's so hold your carriage horses, hold your carriage horses, hold your little motor cars, hold your Model Ts, and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride of meeting all the characters, investigating their backgrounds, finding out what's true, what's not true, who's really who they are, finding out secret identities. It's really multi-layered. And when it comes out, you're going to be like, ah, I didn't see it coming. It's a real good mystery. So I hope you will enjoy it. And please check out my Star Trek recaps on Friday, my If Then Friday afternoons. If you like this author, maybe you like that author. And also Flashback Mondays, where we talk about books in 2010 and all the different genres: mystery, suspense, romance, contemporary romance, inspirational, urban, paranormal, and harlequins. We address them all. And of course, my daily book reviews. So please check it out, and please hit the like and subscribe. One of these days I'll hit 200 subscribers, and maybe it'll last more than 24 hours. Maybe one day I'll hit 500 too, but that's a dream. But anyways, please hit the like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the book. Thank you.